Combining the classic shakshuka with chickpeas for a standalone meal. Chickpea shakshuka. So today, I'm making a modified version of the classic dish shakshuka. A dish of North African origin that's very popular in the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and North America. Essentially, it is eggs that are poached in a spicy tomato and bell pepper sauce. For this version, I'm also adding chickpeas to make this dish a standalone meal, and relying on two main spices, paprika and cumin, to really bring out the flavor of the chickpeas. I also have a recipe for the classic shakshuka which uses different spices, so make sure to check that out. First, let's get the vegetables ready for the dish. 2.5 cups onion, thinly sliced from one large onion. 3.5 cups diced tomatoes from 5 medium tomatoes. 1.5 cups bell peppers from one large bell pepper. 1 chili finely chopped. 3 garlic cloves sliced thin. 1/2 cup coarsely chopped parsley or cilantro. 2 tablespoons sliced olives. 1 cup cooked chickpeas. You can use cooked chickpeas from a can or cook them from scratch using dry chickpeas, that is garbanzo beans. If you plan on cooking with dry chickpeas, I have an appendix section at the ending on how to do that to get really soft chickpeas. Use the chapter timestamps in the description to jump to that section and come back here after that. Now it's time to prepare the sauce into which the eggs will be placed. Heat 2.5 tablespoons light butter or oil in a flat-bottomed skillet over medium heat until shimmering. Add 1 chili finely chopped and cook, stirring occasionally for about 1 minute. Turn the heat to medium-high to get some browning of the vegetables that are going to be added. Add 2.5 cups onion, thinly sliced. 1.5 cups bell peppers, finely chopped. 1/2 teaspoon salt. And cook without stirring or moving the vegetables until the bottom of the vegetables become browned in spots at about 5 minutes. Stir and cook for 2 more minutes until the onions become translucent. The added salt helps the onions cook faster, and browning the vegetables gives the dish a boost of flavor. Turn the heat to low. Add 1 teaspoon paprika powder, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds or 3/4 teaspoon ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, 1 cup cooked chickpeas, and cook, stirring constantly so as not to burn the spices until spices become fragrant at about 1 minute. At any time, if the food sticks to the bottom of the pan, add a little water, 4 tablespoons or more, and stir. Add 3.5 cups diced tomatoes from 5 medium tomatoes, 1/2 teaspoon brown sugar or sugar, 2 tablespoons tomato paste, and 1 cup water. Turn the heat to high and bring to a boil. Reduce heat to medium and bring to a simmer. Cover with the lid for more heat flow and cook for 10 minutes until the tomatoes have softened and cooked through. Sporadically mashing the tomatoes lightly with a masher or the back of a spatula to blend it into the sauce, being careful not to mash the chickpeas. Remove the lid to evaporate some of the liquid and cook for another 2 minutes, stirring periodically to blend everything together. The liquid sauce should not be watery or runny. It should be thick as in a thick stew. If there is not enough liquid, add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water. If there is too much liquid, cook for another 3 to 4 minutes until the sauce thickens. Taste and see if it lacks flavor. If so, add up to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If it is too acidic, add up to 1/2 teaspoon of brown sugar or sugar. Add in 1/4 cup coarsely chopped parsley or cilantro. Remove pan from heat. Now it's time to place the eggs in the sauce and cook them. Since the eggs will be submerged in the sauce, in order for it to cook thoroughly, we're going to use a lid over the pan, whereby steam that bounces from the lid will help cook the eggs, as well as heat from the pan, as well as conduction heat from the surrounding sauce. Using the back of a spatula, make 3 to 4 shallow 1.5 inch diameter indentations in the sauce. Crack an egg into a small bowl, remove any shells that slipped in, and pour into an indentation in the pan. Repeat with the remaining eggs. To contain the eggs better, spoon sauce over edges of egg whites so that whites are partially covered and yolks are exposed. This helps the whites to become solid faster than the yolks, which I prefer to be runny, that is in liquid form. Place pan back over medium-high heat and bring to a simmer. You'll see a couple of bubbles here and there. Reduce heat to medium-low to maintain simmer. Cover for maximum heat flow and cook until a thin whitish film barely forms over the yolks at about 4 minutes. Check if the whites have just set, that is turned solid, and the yolks are still runny. If not, cook for another 4 to 6 minutes, checking the eggs every minute to see if the whites have turned solid and the yolks are still runny. As soon as the whites have turned solid, remove the pan from the heat. The residual heat in pan will ensure that the eggs are fully cooked when allowed to sit before serving. With a fork, carefully remove the white film over the yolks to give them a pretty yellow, sunny side up look. Sprinkle in the remaining 1/4 cup coarsely chopped parsley or cilantro. Two tablespoons feta or goat cheese, and 2 tablespoons sliced olives. Let the pan sit for at least 10 minutes before serving. So some final tips. When the eggs are being cooked, right at the 4-minute mark, make sure to peek under the lid to see if the whites of the eggs have just turned solid and the yolks are at the desired hardness you require. If so, take the pan away from the heat. And if you let the pan sit for about 10 minutes or so, the residual heat from the pan will help finish cooking the eggs thoroughly. Instead of fresh tomatoes that I used in the recipe, you can also use a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes. If you do so, you need not use the tomato paste and water listed in the recipe. Also, you can cook it just for 4 minutes and not 10 minutes as specified in the recipe. So a little time saver there. Here is the section on cooking soft chickpeas from dry chickpea. Pour 1 cup of chickpeas into a bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of salt. Add water to cover the top of the chickpeas by 3/4 inch. Let it soak overnight, 12 to 24 hours if possible, at the least for 4 hours. Drain the chickpeas to a saucepan or pressure cooker. Add 1 tablespoon salt and pour water to cover the chickpeas by 3/4 inch. If using a pressure cooker, cook on high heat until pressure is built up and the cooker releases steam, or the pressure cooker valve moves in a rapid fashion, or the cooker display indicates that high pressure has been reached. Then reduce heat to medium-low and cook for 24 minutes or so. If using a saucepan, bring to a boil over high heat. Then reduce heat to medium-low, cover, and simmer for 1 hour or until the chickpeas are cooked well. Drain the cooking liquid and keep the pan aside. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to click the like button. And I'd recommend you check out one of the videos listed on the screen, just like this one. And I'll see you in the next video.